pretty little head.
Thank you, you may.
I knew there must have been some misunderstanding, Miss Fairfax. The gentleman whose arm is at present round your waist is my guardian, Mr. John Worthing.
I beg your pardon.
This is Uncle Jack.
Jack! Oh!
Oh, here is Ernest.
My own love.
A moment. May I ask you, are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
To what young lady? Good heavens, Gwendolyn!
Yes, to good heavens, Gwendolyn. I mean, to Gwendolyn.
Of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you, you may.
I felt that there must be some slight error, Miss Cardew. The gentleman who is now embracing you is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief.
Oh! Algernon Moncrief! Are you called Algernon?
I cannot deny it.
Oh, is your name really John?
I could deny it if I liked. I could deny anything if I liked. But my name certainly is John. It has been John for years.
Oh, a gross deception has been practiced on both of us.
My poor wounded sister.
My sweet, wronged Gwendolyn.
You will call me sister, won't you?
There is just one question I would like to be allowed to ask my guardian.
An excellent idea. There is just one question we would like to be permitted to put to you. Where is your brother Ernest? We are both engaged to be married to your brother Ernest, so it is a matter of some importance to us to know where your brother Ernest is at present.
Gwendolyn, Cecily, I will tell you quite frankly, I have no brother Ernest. I have no brother at all. I have never had a brother in my life, and I certainly have not the smallest intention of having one in the future.
I'm afraid it is perfectly clear, Cecily, that neither of us is engaged to be married to anyone.
It is not a very pleasant position for a young girl to suddenly find herself in, is it?
Let us go into the house. They will hardly venture to follow us in there.
No, men are so cowardly, aren't they?
This ghastly state of things is what you call bunburying, I suppose?
Yes, and a perfectly wonderful Bunbury it is too. The most wonderful Bunbury I ever had in my whole life.
Well, the only small satisfaction I can take in the whole of this wretched business is that your friend Bunbury is quite exploded. You won't be able to run down to the country quite so often as you used to, dear Belgie, and a very good thing too.
Your brother is a little off colour, isn't he, dear Jack? You won't be able to vanish off to London quite so frequently as your wicked custom was, and not a bad thing either.
I am in love with Gwendolyn. I wanted to be married to her, that is all. I love her.
Well, I simply want to be engaged to Cecily. I adore her.
There is certainly no chance of your marrying Miss Cardew.
Well, I don't think there is much likelihood of you and Miss Fairfax being united. I've just made arrangements with Dr. Chasuble to be christened at 6:15 under the name of Earnest.
My dear friend, the sooner you give up this nonsense, the better. I have made arrangements with Dr. Chasuble myself to be christened at 5:30. And naturally, I will take the name of Earnest. Gwendolyn would wish it. Can't both be christened Earnest. It's absurd. Algernon, I have told you to go. I don't want you here. Why don't you go?
I haven't quite finished my tea yet. And there is still one muffin left.
Act 3. See the morning room of the manor house. Gwendolyn and Cecily are looking through the window into the garden. Jack and Algy are in the garden.
The fact that they did not follow us into the house, as anyone else would have done, seems to me to show that they have some sense of shame left.
They have been eating muffins. That looks like repentance.
They don't seem to notice us. Couldn't you cough?
But I haven't got a cough.
They're looking at us. What effrontery!
Oh, they're approaching. That's very forward of them.
Let us preserve a dignified silence.
Certainly. It is the only thing to do now.
This dignified silence seems to produce an unpleasant effect.
A most distasteful one.
But we will not be the first to speak.
Certainly not.
I have something very particular to ask you. Much depends on your reply.
Gwendolyn, your common sense is invaluable. Mr. Moncrief, kindly answer me the following question. Why did you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
In order that I might have an opportunity of meeting you.
Oh, that certainly seems a satisfactory explanation, does it not?
Yes, if you can believe him.
I don't. But that does not affect the wonderful beauty of his answer.
True, in matters of grave importance, style, not sincerity, is the vital thing. Mr. Worthing, what explanation can you have for pretending to have a brother? Was it in order that you might have the opportunity of coming up to town to see me as often as possible?
Can you doubt it, Miss Fairfax?
I have the gravest doubts on the matter, but I intend to crush them. Their explanations appear satisfactory, especially Mr. Worthing's. That seems to have the stamp of truth on it.
I am more than content with what Mr. Moncrief has said. His voice alone inspires one with absolute credulity.
Then you think we should forgive them?
Yes. I mean, no.
True, I had forgotten there are matters of principle at stake here that one cannot surrender. But who shall be the first to tell them? The task is not a pleasant one.
Could we not both speak at the same time?
And
let's speak at the same
I
time.
always speak at the same time as other people. Will you take the time from me?
Certainly.
Your Christian names are still an insuperable barrier. That is all.
Our Christian names? Is that all? But we're going to be christened this afternoon.
For me, you are prepared to do this terrible thing?
I am.
To please me, you're ready to face this fearful ordeal.
I will.
Oh, how absurd to talk about the equality of the sexes. Where matters of self-sacrifice are concerned, men are infinitely beyond us.
We are